Hi, so today I am having, well, an inside day. The weather is horrendous. Um, and Evan's got his boat building class this afternoon. So it's just going to be a day of, do you know what, writing. I'm going to be getting on with some writing. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I've got all of these little bits of stories all over the place. Um, what I don't have is a coherent narrative. What I don't have is that bit that ties everything together. I'm in the lots of ideas phase, and I'd like to be in the here's a story phase. Um, but you know what? That's all part of the process. Um, and as I've said to you before on this, like I don't know if I'm going to end up being any good, but this is the opportunity to try these things. You know, nobody knows if they're any good at anything until they try, until they learn, until they put in the work and the practice and the effort. So it's just something I want to do. My banjolele as well. I mean, I tend to just say ukulele, but my Pomi version is a banjolele, and the sound is amazing. And I have been starting to learn proper music theory, um, in terms of what keys, how you figure out what chords and notes are in what key, and um, majors and minors and all of these things, and starting also to commit a lot more chords to memory. Once I've got all the majors and minors and um, you know a few keys down, I really just want to be in a position where somebody can say to me, let's jam in D. And I can be like, yes, I can do that. I can jam in D or in D or in some completely other one. Um, so I am slowly starting to get my head round. Now, I'm not counting my chickens. I'm being very cautious when I say this. But just round to the idea that regardless of what else happens and how this ends up, I've got 6 months to minimum 6 months, hopefully a year, to get my head straight. And I think I'm just starting to realize how badly that was needed. I was just kind of jumping from chaos to chaos, at least that's the way it felt to me. With the different jobs I'd had, the different places I'd been, different challenges that I'd been presented with. And it was a pattern. And I have the opportunity to just, I mean, burnout was coming. Burnout was definitely, arguably, burnout was already there. And I now have the opportunity to just reset, get my head straight. And the first few weeks, as it was always going to be, I was like, I have to produce, I have to get on, I have to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep doing things, keep producing, keep making, trying to, you know, build websites, earn incomes, whatever else it needed to be. I'm I wouldn't say I'm changing that. I still want to make this sustainable, so I need to keep going. But what I am starting to understand is allowing myself that space also to get my head straight, also to work on things that I want to be part of my life. I want writing to be in my life. I want music to be in my life. And it's not that I haven't had the opportunity before. I've never had. It's not that I've never been able to stick with it, but I've never had that, day by day spare time. I've never been somebody who feels like they've ever got spare time, which I'm sure is fictional. And in fact, in my younger days when I was single, the amount of skills I could have built, whereas instead I went to the pub and watched telly. But you know, you can always say these things in hindsight, can't you? I've always felt like I haven't got time in my life to add new things in. Now I do. Now I officially do. And it's going to be music, and it's going to be writing, and it's going to be all of the fun things that I can do when I've got a massive workshop to use. And yeah, I'm really starting to feel quite a bit more positive.